Good morning and welcome to Barbara's Bulletin. I'm your host, Barbara. It's great to have you joining us today as we dive into the latest developments from around the world. We've got a packed show for you today, with stories ranging from politics to technology and social issues. First off, let's take a look at some of the major headlines making waves globally. The Trump administration is planning to push for restrictions on global asylum rights at the United Nations. This move has sparked significant debate and concern among human rights groups and international leaders. We'll be keeping a close eye on this story as it unfolds. In Japan, Agriculture Minister Shinjiro Koizumi has announced his intention to run in the Liberal Democratic Party leadership election, which is set to take place on October 4th. This development could have significant implications for the country's political landscape and its approach to key issues such as economic policy and national security. On a different note, we're also looking at the challenges faced by blind professionals in the workplace. A recent story highlighted the difficulties encountered by individuals who are blind or have low vision when using common software and tools, such as PowerPoint and Trello. This is an important reminder of the need for greater accessibility and inclusivity in our technological systems. As we explore these stories and more throughout the show, we'll be bringing you a range of perspectives and insights to help you stay informed and up to date on the issues that matter most. Our goal is always to provide fair and balanced coverage, giving you the information you need to form your own opinions and engage with the world around you. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Barbara's Bulletin. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. I'm your host, Barbara, and we're continuing our coverage of global news that matters. In this segment, we'll be diving into a critical development in the ongoing conflict in Sudan. As you may recall, Sudan has been embroiled in a devastating civil war since April 2023, when government forces failed to agree on a power-sharing accord with the Rapid Support Forces, or RSF. The conflict has resulted in tens of thousands of deaths, displaced millions, and triggered one of the world's worst humanitarian crises. Recently, the United States, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and Egypt issued a joint statement calling for a 3-month humanitarian truce in Sudan, followed by a permanent ceasefire. This move is seen as a significant effort to end the deadly conflict and establish civilian rule in the Northeast African nation. The statement from the 4 countries known as the Quad emphasizes the need for a 9-month transitional process to establish an independent, civilian-led government with broad-based legitimacy and accountability. The Quad countries have significant influence over the Sudanese army and the RSF, and their call for a truce is being closely watched by the international community. It's worth noting that Egypt is an important ally of Sudan's regular army, while the UAE has been accused of supporting the RSF, a charge it denies. The joint statement backs the unity of Sudan but does not specify whether the warring parties are willing to engage in talks. The United Nations has warned of starvation in southwestern Sudan, and UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres has called for a ceasefire in the besieged capital of El Fasher. However, the RSF rejected this call, fueling concerns about the potential for further violence and instability in the region. In a related development, the U.S. has imposed sanctions on Sudanese Finance Minister Jibril Ibrahim, an Islamist, and the Bara ibn Malik Brigade, an Islamist militia that has fought alongside the army. These sanctions aim to limit Islamist influence within Sudan and curtail Iran's regional activities, which have contributed to regional destabilization and civilian suffering. As we continue to monitor this complex and evolving situation, it's essential to remember the human cost of the conflict in Sudan. The international community must work together to find a peaceful solution that addresses the aspirations of the Sudanese people and promotes stability in the region. That's all for now on this critical story. We'll be keeping a close eye on developments in Sudan and bringing you updates as more information becomes available. Stay tuned for our final story of the day, right here on Barbara's Bulletin. Good evening and welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. As we wrap up today's show, I'd like to shift our focus to the United Kingdom, where Prime Minister Keir Starmer is facing a tumultuous time. The recent sacking of Peter Mandelson, the UK's ambassador to the US, has raised eyebrows and sparked intense debate. For those who may not be aware, Mandelson's dismissal came after it was revealed that he had maintained a close relationship with convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein, despite initial claims that their connection was minimal. This news has led to widespread criticism of Starmer's judgment and handling of the situation. To provide some context, let's take a step back. Mandelson's emails, which were recently uncovered, showed a depth of friendship with Epstein that was previously unknown. In one email, Mandelson even referred to Epstein as his best pal. These revelations have understandably led to outrage and calls for greater accountability. Now, as President Donald Trump prepares to visit the UK for an historic second state visit, the timing couldn't be more awkward for Starmer. The prospect of a joint news briefing, where both leaders will likely face questions about Epstein, is undoubtedly causing anxiety among UK government officials. It's essential to acknowledge that this situation has significant implications for Starmer's leadership and the Labour administration as a whole. The loss of two senior government members to scandal in under a week has raised concerns about the party's ability to maintain stability and integrity. As we consider these developments, it's crucial to approach the topic with nuance and balance. While it's essential to hold those in power accountable for their actions, we must also avoid rushing to judgment or perpetuating unfounded speculation. In conclusion, the situation in the UK is undoubtedly complex and multifaceted. As we continue to follow these events, I encourage our listeners to remain informed, engaged, and critically thinking. That's all for today's Barbara's Bulletin. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay engaged.